Today we're going to be going over a very commonly asked question on how much does it cost to modify my car and what power output do I get out of that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before we go into the modification portion, I want to address something that's called the Magnuson-Federal Control Act. Every single time we get an inquiry about, can I put an exhaust or an intake or headers or any other performance-based part on my car, there's a follow-up question on, will this void my warranty? The Magnuson-Federal Control Act was put in place to protect you, the client, from a dealership or manufacturer automatically declining a warranty claim based on modifying your vehicle. So for example, if you put an exhaust on your car and you had a transmission issue or something, per this act, they legally have to provide proof that that modification that you did has a direct relation to the issue in which that you're having. I personally used to work for General Motors. We did warranty claims on Corvettes and Silverados and stuff. A lot of these cars came in with exhaust, headers, intakes, stuff like that. We never declined a warranty claim with those modifications. Now, if you had heads and cam and a tune or a supercharger, totally different story. But just because you put a performance-based product on your car, a bolt-on part, does not mean that the dealership can legally decline your warranty. If they do, they're completely wrong. They cannot do that. Speaking personally, talk to your dealership about this act because usually they're just not informed and or know about it. And if your dealer representative is still pushing back, just ask to talk to their direct dealer representative for that region. They'll be the ones to better answer that. All right, let's jump into it. So we have a PDF performance breakdown. This is going to go over all the pricing that is available as of today. Now remember, like anything, prices are subject to change. I'm going to be talking about the prices that are at the point today of late 2024. So for the first category, we have a full bolt-on package. This is not going to have a tune. This is going to have headers of your choice, exhaust, intake manifold if you have a coupe, and that's it. So every bolt-on part. So with this full bolt-on pack of headers, exhaust, intake, and or manifold if you have a coupe, you can get up to 480 wheel horsepower. I'm going to emphasize wheel horsepower on all of this because another thing we get when we release videos and content and stuff and say we have a 480 horsepower option, a lot of people say, well, my car has 495 horsepower, so what do you mean I'm getting less? There's a difference between crank horsepower and wheel horsepower. Every time that Graham does a dyno video, we emphasize wheel horsepower. That is the power you are putting down on the ground. That is what matters. And the big picture, that's what we're going to be talking about is wheel horsepower. The parts price is going to range about $6,500 up to $12,300, and the labor price is about $2,600 with today's pricing. Moving on to our next bolt-on option is going to be everything we just talked about, but with tuning ability. So we're able to tune the car by pulling the ECU out, sending it off to HB tuners, getting it back, and then we tune it in-house or we can remote tune it. Again, we've covered all this in plenty of other videos. This is going to get you up to 500 wheel horsepower. So 20 additional horsepower from a full bolt-on package to doing that package with tuning. E85 adds that 20 horsepower. Now with this, you are modifying the tune on the car. Any powertrain related items, 100% non-warrantable. So if you do this package and you have a transmission issue, you have an internal issue, just note that the dealership does have a right to decline any and all warranty claims. With this full bolt-on pack and the tune, your parts price is going to range between about $9,500 up to $17,000, and then the labor price is going to be $2,675. Next, we're going to just talk about doing heads and cam on your car. Now, this is not going to have any bolt-on parts, so it's going to be factory headers, factory cats, factory exhaust, factory manifold, everything, just putting heads and cams in your car. This is going to get you up to 540 wheel horsepower when paired with E85 reflex fill tuning. The parts prices is going to be about $9,500 up to about $11,000, and the labor price is $5,200. Now, the reason for the jump on that labor price is because there's 30 hours labor involved with doing heads and cam, because unlike a standard bolt-on, which we can do everything in the car, For heads and cams, we got to pull the engine out of the car. So there's a huge labor jump from basic bolt-on to heads and cam bolt-on. Now, similar to the last package we talked about, this voids any and all powertrain warranty. You're pulling the engine out, you're replacing internal parts, and you're tuning it. So just be mindful on that. In the event you have a mechanical failure at some point, the dealership does have a right to decline any and all warranty claims related to the powertrain. Okay, let's take the full bolt-on package and the heads and cam package and put them together. This is where we start getting into a higher horsepower output, but also a higher price associated to it. We have a lot of parts involved and a lot of labor. With all these modifications, you're going to see up to 565 wheel horsepower with a parts price between $16,000 to $24,000 and the labor price of the $5,250. That's going to include the exhaust of your choice, headers, intake, manifold, head cams, the whole works. That's why the labor price doesn't go up, because we here at Paragon, we already have the engine out. It doesn't take much more to add any of these additional parts that you're wanting to have on, but you do get some great power gains when we already have the engine out. All right, we have all the standard bolt-on packs, heads and cam packs, all that has been discussed. Now we're going to get into superchargers. We offer two superchargers. We offer the Magnuson by Lingenfelter and the Procharger, both of which are going to have a similar output gain-ish. The Magnuson, we use their preset tuning, so it does have a lesser horsepower output to the wheels. Compared to the Procharger, we utilize our own tuning in-house, so we do have a higher horsepower ability because we're not using an off-the-shelf tune compared to we're using our own. Both of these are going to be using premium octane fuel. We're not doing E85 with the superchargers, so that will come later once we do high side or low side fuel pump or flex fuel sensor. That will be a totally different video. So everything we're talking about with superchargers is going to be on a premium octane fuel. Going first into the Magnuson supercharger, we are a Magnuson certified dealer. So what that means is that if you come to us, you have the supercharger installed, and let's say you live in Texas or Florida or California, and if you have an issue, you're part of the Magnuson warranty program. So if you get it put on here and you have an issue there, a certified dealer in that region or area will be able to work on your car under their warranty program. So that's kind of a big benefit to go with it. The Magnuson price does include labor, so that $24,950 is all the parts, everything installed, out the door, good to go. Now there are additional options that you can buy at that time of purchase, where there's a warranty option, which is really good if you have a brand new car, in this case 24 or 25. You want to retain a powertrain warranty. They do have a third-party option for about $8,000 additional dollars, making the total just shy of $32,000. Otherwise, you can just buy the parts, put them on, and it's that $25,000 out the door. That's going to get you up to 610 wheel horsepower. And last, we have the Procharger. We've had tons of media of this in the past. We see up to 640 wheel horsepower. Once again, the difference between the Procharger and the Magnuson for tuning is we're using the Magnuson off-the-shelf tune. The Procharger tune, we are tuning that ourselves in-house. So we've seen up to 640 wheel horsepower with that. The parts price is going to range between $21,000 to $25,000, and the labor price with that is going to be about $3,500. So a very similar price point as the Magnuson, but it can be more expensive than the Magnuson if you're not including that warranty option that they offer. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for what a very introductory level of what we charge here at Paragon for parts and labor. Now keep in mind, not everybody charges the same amount that we do. Some cases we're a lot lower, some cases we're a little bit higher. So this just kind of gets you a basic understanding. That way, if you're looking to modify your car and you're somewhere else besides Iowa, you kind of have a reference point on what we charge to what they may charge. If you have any additional further questions, please email us directly. We can give you a lot more in-depth support than what this video is intended for. Again, this is just a soft entry, but I hope you learned something from this. If this is a video that you would like to see more of, if we do a Z06 cost analysis, we'd be happy to do it. Leave us a like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you in the next video.